They ask where you been, where you going, how'd you get there, what's next. They wanna know your road, read your maps. I could use the extra passengers, but I'm good with all that. Yeah, I'm good with all that.
So a lot of people will ask, when was the first time you ever heard that calling? When was the first time that you ever heard that loud, just ringing voice that wouldn't stop, that nagging, persistent, just calling? When was the moment that you felt it just ring into your soul and your heart, into your mental, that you knew there was a different type of purpose that you should have been serving in that moment? There was a different type of meaning that you should have attached to your life, right? And when does that moment happen? When does that moment ever happen for you? If you can remember, when did that moment happen where you sat there and you knew inside that there was a decision to be made that was greater than anything that you ever have done in your life? There was a decision to be made that could now put you somewhere where the unknown was brighter than you could ever expect and darker than you could ever imagine. That's that's what I think about. That higher calling, higher within yourself, not just higher above you, but like higher so deep within inside of you that you know there's no end. It's limitless. It's that higher calling. When was that moment? You know, I try to think about that question, and there are points that you can take with a little dot and connect. Okay, this happened this age, this happened this year, this happened this moment. However, I get to this point of realizing that it never was one moment that was bigger than the others, because they all had to be stepping stones to each other for me to keep ascending. So it's not like you get that one ring. Ding, 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 ding. It's not like you get that one hotline ring that just then takes you to this different person. There are moments that make it feel like that. 1000%. Let's keep it 100. There are moments that make it feel like, whoa, my life just went whoosh. However, it went whoosh because there were so many other callings that were answered, that made it turn, that was ready, that had you prepared for that big turn. And it's like one of those things. If you know, you know. If you know, you know. I think about one of my moments, and I think it's been something all life. When I look back into my life, and we wonder, when was that first time of a higher calling? And I think it's in our taste, in our style, in our the way we talk, the people that we start to put ourselves around. All of that is a different type of higher calling that we're meant to just grab in that moment and take those lessons and learn, so that we can use those in our life to propel us to the next call. Now, I'm not saying that either call, it's like the calls can take you down two different rabbit holes, maybe more than two. They can take you down so many different rabbit holes. And I've just been observing that in my life. You know, when I speak about the higher calling, it's not that I'm speaking of it from a sense of knowing where that call is coming from. I don't know where your call is coming from. I don't have your number. Your line is private, and it should be like that. My line is private. You don't know where my higher calling is coming from. Know the cool thing about it? I don't either. This is a calling. You pick it up, and from there is the decision. Once you pick up the phone, the information you receive, are when you hang up that phone, what are you doing with it from there? And I guess that is where we get into, when it gets into the higher calling, is what are we doing once we get the call? How do we know we're even getting the call? You know, a lot of people look into numerology. You know, you see the numbers. Sometimes you may be driving somewhere. You may just see the sign that just resonates out of nowhere. Life is like this matrix, right? Life is this matrix, and it's really about decoding it to know how it fits your path and your purpose. That's all it is. I'm just an experience. I'm just an interaction right now. Would you listen to me? Thank you. I appreciate it. But you listening to me was part of your calling to hear something that may resonate. We're here. Me doing this is part of my calling so that I can say something about what I've been experiencing so that it can then resonate to you. And then it's like everything is this chain. It links. It links and then it spreads. We all have a key inside of us. Once I understand my key and unlock a door inside of one of my rooms, it then can pass on to you to unlock a key. We all got to figure out what that key is and unlock some rooms because there's evolution that has to take place. There's no timeline. It's just a process. It's no timeline. It's just a process when I realize the higher calling within myself. It's not something that you never had the answers to, right? There were times in my life where I knew for sure this journey that I'm on was the journey. And then it felt like, okay, this is not the journey anymore, but it was the journey. Everything is part of the journey. It's just how, which routes of the journey we're taking, which roads, what X's are we getting off on? What shortcuts are we taking? That's part of the calling. It's part of the calling to understand those lessons that we have to learn through the calling, through the path and the purpose. Man, they say life is a game of chess, and knowing which doors, I wrote a line one time in a poem. I said, if life is a game of chess, you can have the I said you can have the keys, you can have the keys to success. But if life is a game of chess, then knowing which door to open is how you finesse the stress. And as I sit back and really think about that, you can have the keys to success. You can have the keys to success. You really can. You can know, okay, if I do this right here, then I can make this much money. If I treat myself this way, if I look this way, if I walk like this, I talk like this, I can attract this type of person. Who's really deeming that to be success though? You can have the key to success. But if life is a game of chess, then knowing which door to open is how you finesse the stress. And that's when I really had to stop and think, oh, wow. Because there are going to be, you can have this key to this success, but there's going to be some stress with it. How you going to finesse it? It depends on how you're going to learn through whatever calling that is at that time, that purpose. What I mean by that is, yeah, I can think I'm pulling one of the baddest, the most beautiful, gorgeous women ever. Because I may not be being true to myself. Now that may look like success. However, once that pain starts, once the glamour, once everything else is settled down, me sitting in that room knowing I have no connection with this person, sitting in that room knowing I have no that she doesn't have any connection with me because really we're doing this off of a look rather than a true meaning, then yeah. Now how are you going to finesse that stress? And that is just one of the things I look at with life is yeah, I can get this amazing job. However, I'm now working more hours than I have than to sleep. I'm now working more than I have time to spend to my own care for my body. How am I for now finessing that stress? And see, it's lessons between both of those, and it's part of our calling to then understand what the lessons is. The lesson in that is to learn, not that it's just shit. I have to. It's not just I got to get out of this. We got to escape. We always want to escape. But where are we running to? Where are we running? I had to ask myself that lately. I was back in my hometown and I was ready to get out, ready to get out, ready to get out. And I asked myself, where am I running to? Where am I running? Higher calling. Thought so. But the higher calling was finding love within myself. I thought I was trying to run to a home, and really home was in myself the whole time. Not trying to tell you how this purpose and this path goes. I'm trying to just explain my experience. Because someone out there, maybe you, someone else you know, is going through an experience where they're transforming, they're listening in, they're tuning into this higher calling. They're not sure. They're not sure what his voice is. They're not sure what is this vibrating feel in their skin. It just feels like something moving within. They're not sure where that's coming from. It can be frightening. It can be frightening to think that you're the only one in the room that feels the way you do. It can be frightening to feel that no one else is going to understand why you can understand the whole picture. Yet someone else can only see half the picture, and it hurts you. You see this whole moon, yet someone else can only see half the moon, and you're trying to explain it to them like, why do you even care about the whole moon? It hurts you because of what you're feeling inside, this intuitive feel that makes you zone in and tune into things that the naked eye can't see. It makes you hear things that the ears alone, vibrations, wouldn't even pick up on. It makes you smell aromas, and it makes you smell energies that other people would just be blunt, they just would not pick up on. What makes you different? Have you asked yourself that? Probably just passing it along. Probably not even trying to understand it. Probably just trying to run from it. Higher calling. Why though? What are you afraid of? Not being understood. What are you afraid of? Not being liked. What does that even mean? What is your higher calling's worth to someone else's? What is it? What is it worth to have somebody else judge you in your path when it's your path? It's worth the judgment. People gonna judge you when you dead. People gonna judge you while you living. But you trying to narrate the story, huh? Yeah, I was there. I was there in my head trying to narrate a story that I thought I could control. I was there in my head trying to narrate a story that I thought I had power of. But what is power? Power. What is your unconscious power of a higher calling that knows everything about you? That knows your thought before you even thought of it. You wonder why you end up in certain places. Higher calling. One, because you haven't learned a lesson yet. Two, because you need to learn the lesson. Higher calling. Understand that. You haven't learned the lesson and you need to learn the lesson. That's why we're here. I'm here now because I need to learn the lesson of listening to myself. Being still. I'm here right now because you need to listen to yourself, not me. And being still. We all want to escape. We want to escape from loneliness. But what is more fulfilling than talking to your higher calling? Answering that call and listening to the voice on the other end. Maybe because it's a voice that you've heard before. Maybe it's a voice that you've heard and it asks what it asks of you makes you afraid of yourself. We ask ourselves, we dream of some of the greatest imaginations. But then we enter this physical portals and dimensions and we become the mere thoughts that mere little particles of what that dream could be until we answer that higher calling. I don't know the answers. I'm just telling you my experience. I can't tell you the exact moment it happened, but I can tell you a bunch of different moments it happened. I want to be able to express these experiences to you. The higher calling isn't just an individual one base only thing. Nah. Everyone goes through it. Everyone goes through it differently. Everyone goes through it their own way. And that's what makes it beautiful. Because my way is going to be different than your way, different than her way, different than his way. And if it's not, then it's not your calling. You're on someone else's line. Get off of it. Blocked. Higher calling. When did you hear it? Did you run from it? Did you pick it up? Ask yourself, what are you not listening to inside yourself? That's when I realized I'm picking up with my higher calling.